station.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವ ರೈಲಿನಲ್ಲಿ
Hyderabad Bhattacharjya Express. Rayagati Station, Netaji Bhavan. Hereby down.
Hello and welcome to Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live. That was some weekend. 2 games which were back-to-back, nail-biting finishers. My heart rate hasn't come down. I know it's a Monday, but on the IPL, there is no mundane Mondays. It's always going to be magical. Bringing the magic to this Monday, I've got Adam Gilchrist and Joy Bhattacharjya with me. Welcome, gentlemen. Are your heart rates down? Because I know you've been under immense pressure, high cooker pressure games. How do you do it when you're sitting on the chair?
My heart rate is maintaining a high level because, as is the way with Cricbuzz, you get to come back. I know I've already worked with you this time, but I haven't worked with this man this year. So good to see you again, mate. Good to see you. So, heart rate's up, excited. Yesterday was a bumper double-header day. Runs everywhere, a bowler's nightmare, batter's dream, and I reckon there might be some more runs today, but we'll wait and see. Well,
Joyda, do you know that every time Gilly works with someone for the first time, he does the Gangam style? He did it for Karthik. So...
There is no truth in that at all. None at all whatsoever.
You think after so many years I'll believe her?
I would do it, but I'm wired up here. I can't get up. But,
we'll figure it out for the next show. Gilly, we'll figure it out for the next show. But Joyda, 2 spectacular games. Again today, lots to play for. Delhi, of course, wants these 2 points because they've dipped down in that points table. And Hyderabad, they just need to survive another day.
Absolutely. I think for Delhi, this is a huge match because if you look at the remaining teams that they're playing tough teams. I think they're playing Punjab, they have Bangalore. So they have tough teams are coming up after this. You take a look at that. There's Punjab, Gujarat, Mumbai. So those are all big matches. All those are top 3 teams. So what you have is you have to get a win today to stay in contention. Yes. And you have to get a win to somehow get your momentum back. And I think this is a very, very, very big match for them. They'll be under a lot of pressure. They have to get a win out here.
Look, I agree. And I remember in the IPL, the last thing you want to do is go negative in the win-loss.
Yes.
And they laid the foundation beautifully at the start of the tournament. They bought themselves some time. There you go, the 4 green W's there. So, it's dropped off in the bottom segment there, but they bought themselves some time, but they don't want to go another loss, and then all of a sudden it's getting really close, and particularly at the wrong end of the season. You can be 1 and 2 at the start of the tournament, and then you've got time to rebuild. But no, so they now's where they've got to cash in on that foundation they laid at the start of the tournament.
But Gilly, the atmosphere in the team's going to be under pressure, or they'll just be saying we've had a few off days and we are ready to go. They also like going and travelling and playing. So is the pressure going to be on them, or they'll just go in saying that it's just been a few off days?
There's pressure in every IPL match. There really is. Whether it's for the team to progress in the tournament or individuals to stay in contention for a contract next year. There are all sorts of pressures around. The key, and the good players and the good teams know how to just deflect that pressure and only worry about what they can control, and within their group or within their own body and mind, that they're the better players and the better performed teams. But there's always expectation and pressure, there's no doubt about it. And after the start, I say the good work of the foundation at the top of the series, all of a sudden comes greater expectation from the fans. Oh, this is the year. So, there's pressure everywhere in the IPL.
And if SRH, who's, has a mathematical chance of qualifying, has to ask anyone for advice, I know of one IPL captain whose team was 3 and 7, okay, and won their last 4 matches to qualify again. What did you do then?
Thank you. Were we 3 and 7? I think we won our first 4.
And then you needed to win the last 3 at one go.
Yeah, we won 4 and lost 4. So all of a sudden we were on the even ledge, and then we lost, and then we were. But we were walking the tightrope all the way. Literally the old cliche, game by game. Just try and get to the next level. So. That's all they can do. But even then, if SRH do that, win every game, they're going to need some favourable results in other areas or some significant run rate improvers. But that's all down the track. This game, the next ball, the next little over, the only thing that matters for him.
Well, like you were saying, SRH's qualification is now going to be sponsored by Ifs and Buts Private Limited, because even if they win...
No, they're a mathematician's dream.
Yes.
You win by 220 runs, you lose by 80 runs.
Yeah, I think RCB needs to lose all their games, Punjab needs to... So there's a lot that SRH
I mean, basically, it's SRH qualifying is like... Tom Cruise trying to get through all those laser rays like that, that's what they need to do, be a contortionist to be able to get there.
But Joyda, it is that chair. Everyone who sits on that chair and says that it's impossible, the mission is impossible. We saw that happen with RCB. So something turns around. So maybe it's the magic of that chair. And they have, SRH have won the toss. They will be bowling first today. So good start. It's always a good start to win the toss, and they would like to get started well.
I think actually bowling first is actually good for them. And I'll tell you the reason. They really don't know this year what's a good total. The way they've played, if you say they've been, the first match they blasted everyone out. But after that, they've not been sure of what's been a good total, how hard to go. And at least when you're bowling first, you have a sense of, okay, this is my target. Should I go, they haven't set targets well. They've gone all over the place, and I think they've been ambitious and looked at 250s and 220s on grounds where perhaps looking at 180s and 190s would have suited them better. And I think therefore, bowling at this point in time, given the kind of confidence of their batting unit, is not a bad thing for them.
Well, Giri, Captain Cummins is someone who's pretty much done it all as a captain, and he wants that tick mark of the IPL. Last year we saw how close he came, how passionate he was. This is going to really hurt him. How do you think he's going about things this IPL?
Nothing much phases Pat Cummins. That's why he's got most trophies in his trophy cabinet, particularly as captain. So I don't see him changing anything really. I don't think he loses sleep over any one title more than the other. Certainly, save for maybe the international stuff, is the highest ranked in his mind. But I'm sure he would dearly love to have won it last year. It seems he's not destined for it this year. He might be back next year. Who knows in this modern game? But no, he's just a consummate professional. He gives all of himself on the field anytime he's out there. But I don't think he's too fussed by he'd be disappointed where they are. But I don't think he's sort of sitting here now going, forget everything else. I can't wait till next year for the IPL. There's a lot of things to achieve in between now and the IPL of next year.
But Joyda, you've known him as well. Is he someone who's just very cool and he seems like a very positive guy?
Look, if you take a kid, who started playing for Australia when he was 17, then had a back injury which they said he'd never play again, came back from it, matured, remodeled his action. So the miracle of playing, he was considered a boy wonder, then he goes away, gets injured so badly, the stress fractures are so bad that they say he won't play, then he comes back, then he does it. So he's had a very interesting career. He's gone through a lot and has made his way through that. And I think one of the things that you saw is he's one of those rare cricketers who can say cricket is still a game. I mean, there are two guys do it in different ways. There's some guys who do it, they're consumed by the game and everything is only about the game. There are some guys who say, that doesn't mean they're not professionals.
Yes.
But it's not the end of the world. And there are different attitudes in how people deal with this consuming thing called cricket. And I think his is more, yes, it's a game. It's a very important game. It's a living. It means a lot to me. But his life, I mean, he may make one.
To it as well.
There's more to his life.
He seems like a family man.
There is a balance.
Reading and
There is a balance. And there is also a balance of how much value IPL has as opposed to the rest of the tournaments. So World Test Championships are also next. So it's not as if the IPL is the only thing in cricket that he's worried about. He's thinking about the World Test Championship. He'll be thinking about the Ashes. He'll be thinking, we've got a good victory against India last. So it's a much more rounded portfolio. And I think that's good for Hyderabad, because if this was the only thing that consumed him, then the pressure, you put a lot of pressure on yourself if you can't do it. And if you see what's happening to Dhoni, one of the things is that this is the only cricket he's playing. This is the one gig that he's still doing. And therefore, the pressure of this gig just increases.
Well, he has a lot to be thinking for, like Gilly said, Joyda said, lots coming up for him as a captain. But today he'll be thinking of what his team is going to be. Let's have a look at Hyderabad's playing 11 and see what changes they have. Ooh, 3 changes in there. Lots of shuffling around. Sachin Baby is in, Abhinav Manohar is in, and Malinga is in. There is no Shami.
Shami is the big one because remember, Shami won't bowl later.
This is, he's the new ball goal.
He's with the new ball, and Travis Head is their substitute.
Player.
Has to be.
Let's just have a look at those impacts as well for Hyderabad and see who they have in that list there. There is Shami in the impact with Travis Head. That's a bit
Shami can't play then, can he? They're bowling first.
They're bowling first, and if you don't bowl Shami with the new ball, when are you going to bowl him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost feels like they've sent out a wrong, which they haven't, but just not having Shami in and having him in that impact list, that doesn't really make sense.
I suppose you've got to put 5 players' names on the impact list, but they're going to get Travis Head in, so it doesn't matter what 5 other names are there. I'd be interested in looking at that 11 again if possible.
We just have a look at that 11 again. There's no Mendes, there is no Reddy, and there's no Shami.
So look,
no Reddy, yeah.
Yeah, see, Reddy has been a disappointment for them, and I think one of the things they were doing was they were batting him at 4. And last year, if you remember, he got most of his runs, and whatever he did was at 6.
Yes.
At the back end,
Yeah, and the other thing is that one of the things was he was an all-rounder. He was bowling. This year he's injured, so he can't bowl. So somewhere his confidence has taken a bit of a toss, and I don't mind Reddy now sitting out the season because he just didn't look the part. And Sachin Baby is an experienced hand who's played a fair amount in the IPL. Good to have a chance. Abhinav Manohar, in the 1 or 2 chances that they gave him, has done really well.
Yes.
I mean, the truth is, what my problem is, again, they've gone back to Cummins batting at 7.
Yeah.
And I think, of course, Head will come in. No, so Cummins will bat at 8. So it's better.
Yeah, sure. Hey, that's a really good point about Nitish Kumar Reddy and that all-rounder component, because I think you see that often in all-rounders, and I remember feeling it. The reason I grew up in New South Wales, one of the states in Australia, and had to move to Western Australia to try and pursue a wicket-keeping position because I couldn't break into the starting 11 in state cricket in wicket-keeping because Phil Emery was there, and he's the one guy that filled in for Ian Healy when Ian Healy broke his thumb. That's the only test match Ian Healy ever missed in his career. So I couldn't get in there, but I played as a batsman for New South Wales, but I felt like half a cricketer. I'd played all my junior cricket as a wicket-keeper batsman.
Yes.
But when I was playing in Sheffield Shield just as a batsman, I just felt like half there, and I didn't do that well. And I certainly didn't hold down a spot just as a batter. So that made me think, no, I want to pursue a career as an all-round... Yes. What I think is my all-round game and my all-round cricketer and the best way to contribute to a team. And I think by wicket-keeping, that took pressure off my batting, in my mind. So maybe there's a bit in that with Reddy.
But Gilly, when you have a phase like this, of course, you were still very young in your career, but someone like a Shami, when he's going through such a low point in his career, after that injury, he's tried to come back, he's just not found his rhythm. Who does he turn to? Because he's been around for so long, and when you know that you are not your complete best, how does he change that around? Yeah,
look, I think he'll be, all the red line there. I mean, what that does is highlight how productive he's been in those other years, the previous 4 years. Played in a championship, didn't he, with GT? He was in the winning team. So, look, he'd be disappointed with that. But again, he at this stage of his life and career, he only needs to cast his mind forward a couple of months, and he's going to be in the UK. And provided his fit body stays up, he's in that starting 11 for sure. He'll get enough bowling under his belt, and he'll be able to get himself up. He's got experience to draw on.
Yes.
And he should have good people that he can turn to ensure he gets himself in the best physical and mental state.
But Joyda, concern
I know
for
Shami
India?
for a very long time. I've seen him from his first season. I have to tell you this story. It was the first Champions Trophy tournament they used to have. And for the first time, he's playing for KKR, and its first match he's playing is against Bangalore at RCB at Bangalore. So you can make out Chinnaswamy is like full KKR, full RCB, full crowd. And here's this kid who's only played Ranji Trophy cricket where there are, normally 5 men and a dog watching. Yeah. So I turned around and he's phlegmatic as ever. He doesn't show anything. He's the calmest, chillest person you see. So I turned around and I asked him that, Shami, are you nervous and all? So he said, Joyda, where I play my cricket, he said in Hindi, of course, he said, where I play my cricket is Moradabad. Moradabad are the Badlands of India, okay? There's lots of stuff happens there, you know. Crime, families and...
Where is that?
UP, Western UP, okay? So it's action-filled. So he says there were matches that we used to play where, people, a lot of these gang lords used to sponsor matches, and he said there were matches that played where we could see gunmen sitting on the top. Ooh. He says, whatever happens today, nobody's going to shoot at me, right? So after that, we had no answer for him. But he's the most calmest guy. He couldn't be bothered. And I'll tell you one thing. The thing about Shami is he has immense amount of belief in himself. Immense amount of belief in himself. My belief is that his body is just not giving him enough at this point in time.
Is he not fully ready, you feel?
He's still physically not fit. You can make out, the seam position is there, but when he's physically fit, that pace you will see will jump up from his 130s, 137s to about early 140s. He's not that he's going to bowl you 150s, 148, 150, but then he comes to that 138 to 144, 145 kind of area. And he's at his deadliest then, okay? Yes. And it's just a matter of, at this point in time, his body. And Shami is again one of those guys who will talk about strength training and all, but the only way Shami gets better is the old way, the Wasim Akram way, which is bowling more and more bowling. Yes. That's the only way. And it works for them. They get their rhythm that way, they get fit that way. So look, I think Shami is not worried about it, but Shami is about thinking, can I work my way through it? And I think even if you sit him down now, he'll say, okay, that gives my body a little bit more time to sort of get ready for England probably.
Well, we've heard this beautiful story from Joyda, and we know that Shami can handle all the pressure. We'll have a look at Delhi's team now, because they've got that one pacer in who's been in a lot of discussion. Finally, to answer KP's questions, they found place for Natarajan in that team. Really? 10.75 crores. It was a lot of money sitting on that bench.
Yeah, no, that's exciting for him, and what an opportunity for him against his old team. So and provides a nice variety again. And he's had success. I think his numbers from last year were very impressive. So that's a nice inclusion for him, particularly to be able to close out an innings with that experience from what he's been able to do in previous IPL's editions. So KP, he was questioned and he made a statement, and he's been proven wrong on this point, has he?
What a surprise. What a surprise.
He's found his answers, because they found that place for him finally. It almost felt like, we were all wondering when he's going to get a game in. He's finally found it.
Look, I think there are two facts to this. One is that what was happening was you always will give Stark the new ball because he's going to get something with it, okay? Dushmanta Chamira also, I think, as a bowler would prefer the new ball. Now, Mukesh is not somebody... Who are the bowlers who bowl in middle overs? And if you see Natarajan is a guy who primarily bowls at the middle overs and at the death. Because what's his greatest weapon? His greatest weapon is accuracy and the Yorker. Okay, so he's either a middle overs enforcer for you when between 7 and 14 they're trying to get away and stay with the run rate, or he's bowling for you at the death. Okay, and I think the point is none of their... Stark is also, in my mind, though he's bowled well at the death, is not a natural. Mukesh is definitely not a natural, nor is Dushmanta Chamira. So it'll probably be Stark and Natarajan who'll come in the end. Sometimes they've used, they've gone unconventional as well. But that's what Natarajan gives you. And 9.82 nowadays is a pretty decent average for a guy who bowls a lot of overs in 16 to 20.
And he's got the second most highest wicket taker in that 16 to 20. So one just wonders why they couldn't find that place for him earlier, Joyda.
You will have to ask Kevin about that.
He started the tournament with an injury, is that right?
Yeah.
So I guess
I think maybe
speculate on how long that injury held him up, and then whether he needs a bit of bowling. And so, but anyway, he's there, which is exciting. I think that's, we saw by those numbers. Yes. He knows how to have impact in a game.
And he knows this pitch. Yes. He knows this team very well.
I'm glad we're looking at that again, because just as it disappeared, I saw a 6.47. I didn't catch the name, but now I know.
You can take a wild guess.
I was gonna
Let's
say.
take a wild guess. Who could it be?
Unreal.
Again, no surprises there, are there? No surprises at all with what Jasprit Bumrah does. But both these teams, Gilly, Joyda, have thrown up some youngsters who have done really, really well. Who have been your pick of emerging youngsters that have done well for both the teams?
Look, if I start with SRH, and Aniket Verma started well, but for me, the two who were really excellent, I thought Kamindu Mendes in whatever opportunities. First, it's lovely to see a bowler bowling off spin with one hand, left arm orthodox with the other. But Aniket started really well. That's 74. He was hitting the ball really well. And I think he has the power. He has the ability. It's just that what's happened is that their team has not got the starts that suits his type of batting. So what's happening is that if you're walking as Aniket at 25 for 3, then you're forced to bat in a particular way, and I don't think that suits him.
Correct.
He got away, he started doing well when either the team has set up a total where he could come in and start smashing.
And he hits them big.
He hits them big. So I think one of it is situations, and you cannot expect. See, why do you think, what's the big issue? The big issue is that opening and 3 are proactive positions. You can decide the game. Even if 1 wicket's down, you can decide how I want to play this game. Batting at 5 and 6 are reactive positions, because your team is either giving you a start and you can finish on it, or your team is in a lot of trouble and you have to bat in a different way. You have to react to the situation. And I think that's the thing, that he's not got that much maturity. He's a kid, but I still feel he's done really well for them. Kamindu Mendes, I feel, gives you, again, a lot of versatility. Bowls both hands, bats, and what he does is, therefore, he eases the pressure, because whatever it is, he's an international batter. And he's a gun fielder. Okay, the catch he took off was absolutely amazing. Sri Lanka has a rule. Either you're among the best fielders or you're among the worst fielders. There's nothing in between. I mean, I see Pathirana and Thikshana on the field, and I feel embarrassed for them. Sitting out here so far away, you feel embarrassed for them. And then you have Kamindu Mendes taking off.
Flying around.
And there was one more catch. Who else took
Chamira took that other catch.
Took the
other side, and Mendes took the other side. Yes.
So I think that's what they do. When they say Sri Lankan fielding is average, it's like, because it's either very good or very bad, and it sort of works out in the middle.
But for Delhi, Vipraj Nikam's been very impressive. How have you liked that youngster?
He has, yeah. He's come in. I mean, his stats stack up really well. Also, in a bowling unit that has had its ups and downs, there's contributions there. A few runs. Strike rate's good enough, but that economy rate, I think, for a young player, producing those results, getting enough, striking enough times to have an impact, but just keeping anything below 10 at the moment, particularly for a young player coming in experienced, is a
again,
also with the bat.
Came from the Lucknow Falcons. Again, that's the one thing that's happening, Gilly, over the last 2-3 years. Delhi Premier League, Lucknow Premier League, the kind of players that is throwing up. At one time, it was only Tamil Nadu Premier League where Natrajan came from, and Karnataka for a while. Now, Delhi is throwing up players, UP is throwing up players. So, Vipraj is a UP player, plays for the Lucknow team, did really well for them last year. And this year, that's the thing, that he bats at that 7 and can give you those crucial knocks. He got a very crucial 38, and then he got a 39 in the last match, where 39 of 19 in a crucial situation in a chase. I thought he was really good. And then he gives you something with the ball as well. He really, really is that mid-overs bowler. Now, what's happening is that they're not, last few matches, because they're not being able to put enough run rate pressure, he's not getting enough wickets. And that happens because what's happening is, if you're not giving big totals, then they can play you out. They don't need to take chances against you. And I think a lot of it is a result of that as well.
Just quickly, and I don't want to steal your thunder on this, you spoke to me in the green room, or to all of us, about this class of 2025, the youngsters. You might want to talk about that at another time when you've got more time, but it seems like not just young players coming in, but they come in match ready and impact ready. Is this a result of all these leagues starting up?
I think it's two things. I think it's a result of the league starting up, and I think the kind of prep today, the kind of the coaches and all, they're getting them, because what's happening is the guys are literally, they're catching them from the when these guys all go around the countryside playing matches for various team trial matches. And from the trial onwards, people are getting them. December, they've already identified them. So the auctions happened in December. So what's happens in these 3-4 months, they're really, really working them. And so Mentally, I have not seen. They're really strong. And you see the kind of kids who are coming out, Vaibhav Suryavanshi, Ayush Matre. But, it's not just the 14-year-olds and 17-year-olds that are impressing me. It's the Vipraj Nigams of this world, the Digvesh Rathis of the world, the Priyan Sharyas of the world, who are 24, 25 years old. They haven't got a chance. They played this local league and they've suddenly died. Or even a Prince Yadav, who's 28, 29, tennis ball cricketer. But they've prepared them so well that they're throwing them in. And this is the best class of rookies I've seen in 18 years.
Wow.
When you're talking about rookies and talking about youngsters, there's another youngster up top for Delhi who's doing exceptionally well. He's 40 is a new 20.
Spring chicken.
Yeah.
He's a young
He is, yeah. He's just another 20-year-old because he's making 41 look like 21. That's how he's been playing Faf. What is it about him? Is it his fitness that is just keeping him going and getting those runs?
Yeah, well, that's always been a feature of his game. He has been elite level fitness. He's he talks about his body being his temple, and I mean, he looks amazing. He's super fit and ripped and all that. He was a modern athlete that happened to be playing cricket. But having great abs and strong arms doesn't necessarily guarantee runs. There's hand-eye coordination, a lot of skill.
Does that slow down a little bit after a certain age? And is there any particular training you shift around after a particular age?
Definitely, I think that slowly it can drop off. Others it might drop off more quickly. But definitely by the end of it, your reaction, your ability to pick up the ball it's only got to be that much slower, and it's at this level you're going to get exposed. So, and you're just not hitting as many balls from a batting point of view. You really aren't. I mean, Faf's playing a bit more league cricket around the world than, say, what I was by the end of it, the IPL. I was literally just IPL only and nothing in between. So you're just not getting the volume of balls, and so that coupled with a slightly diminishing sort of physical attribute or hand-eye and reflex and skill gets tested a bit more. But he's holding his own. I think his numbers are as impressive post 38, age of 38, than anyone else that's ever really been. I mean, gee.
Well, we have you up there in that list
Scraped
as well.
in there, haven't I?
There are people we know.
And we know who's got that 100 as well, the oldest to get that 100.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe that record that's set to be broken, isn't it?
Which is close last game. We know he's come close, but we still know who still holds that record.
Who still holds that record?
But Delhi will want Faf to break that record because him doing well up top is very important.
I'm okay with Delhi winning. I don't have an issue. Look, this is a record for the ages, man. We want it there. We want it there. But I'll tell you the other funny story. The two guys on the circuit who reckon to have the best bodies are him and Marcus Stoinis. So every time they play a match, they go and look at each other. They just they strut around and look at each other and say, okay, who's stronger here? Who's
and
the
then
bigger
there is Virat standing and watching them both because we know what a body Virat has as well.
Yeah.
So it's clearly all the players who are a little on the other side of 35. But Joyda, just how important it is for Faf to do well for DC, because we know how crucial these 2 points are for Delhi.
Absolutely. I think that's my big point, that this match for Delhi is a big match. This is a match they can't afford to stumble in. And actually, it suits SRH because SRH is going to go all guns blazing. They really don't care. And because Delhi is in that funny position where you're going to start. And what's happened, if you've seen the games which are being played in the Hyderabad, is you're getting that one pitch which is giving you 200, 220 kind of totals. You're getting that one pitch which is 160, 180. So I don't know which pitch they've chosen today, and it's going to be really, really interesting.
And also for Hyderabad, Unadkat made this statement. He said that the pitches that we had last year were much flatter than the pitches we have this year. And the team that we see today for Hyderabad, the 11, does it really almost feel like they've moved on to the next season? They're giving the youngsters a chance, they're changing the team around, or they're going to give it their all, or have they already moved on to what's happening next season?
Perhaps, yeah. That's 3 changes, not necessarily forced changes. So you would think that they might be looking a bit further down the track. That's interesting. Who made the comment about the pitches?
Unadkat.
Right. Said, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anath wouldn't mind these kind of pitches.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he wouldn't like
I
the
don't think he
flat
wants to go
pitches.
back to last year's ones
Yeah.
because it was trouble.
I mean,
but-
it's surprising he said that because one would imagine that he'd like the pitches to be a little slow and sticky, but he
Yeah.
said that we were used to the flatter pitches. The batters were used to the flatter pitches.
I think Unatkar is for me the consummate team player. He's like really understands. He's all about team. So yeah, he'd probably get a few more wickets in
Yes.
pitches like this. But I mean, for his team, for the way they've constructed their team, this is meant for flat pitches. They're meant to browbeat the opposition, hit 240s or chase them down. This team is built for that.
Yes.
And for chasing, like to your point, right back when you heard the toss, I agree. I think they'll enjoy chasing and just knowing what total they won't be fearful of chasing 240 because they know, well,
They've got that
we
firepower,
go flat out from the start anyway, but whoa, here we go now, really have some fun. And there's nothing really to lose. Sorry, I just remembered something about that, about the rig, about Marcus Stoinis and Fit Faf. The effect, and Virat, I was sitting at breakfast in my hotel yesterday and there's a chap next to me. It's amazing the effect, particularly in India. Our fans hang on every word that these players say. And a gentleman sitting next to me at breakfast, he looked over at me and I had a croissant and a Danish and I had a couple, and he goes, "Oh, you've given away to the myth that sports people eat well and don't eat sugary
But
things."
it doesn't show on you at all,
Well,
Gilly, so it doesn't matter, does it? Yeah.
He made that comment and I said, "Yeah, why is that?" And he said that he read that Virat doesn't eat sugar, doesn't eat this, doesn't eat that, and so he's decided to stop it, which is, I love how engaged fans are.
Yeah,
which,
absolutely.
unfortunately for him, it's not quite paid off for that chat. But anyway, all due respect, but he loved his cricket and he was a good cricket chat.
We were getting away with these. I would have loved to hear the story, but I have been told that it's the first ball wicket and Karun Nair came in to open and he's gone. So that's what has happened. So I think we should quickly look at the joy factor question for
joy
the
factor
day.
question
and then
may have a
Gilly,
familiar
we
name
think
out
of
there.
our predictions.
In
till
which
then.
list in Test cricket, Cook Hole first place, Alan Border second, Mark Worth third, and Adam Gilchrist eighth.
Ooh, Test cricket.
Okay.
All right, we'll think about
All
this
right.
because there's already so much action that's
Ooh, we
happened.
need
We've already missed a wicket.
First
so quickly,
ball wicket.
predictions then.
Gee, that's-
I'll follow the leader.
We'll stick to the leader.
I will go to, I still think it's a good track. I'm going to go 197.
Okay. I'm going to go 191. I'll stay a bit lower than that.
197, 191. I will go a little lower than that. I'll go with 187 because
Hey.
I'm missing Polly. So I stick to his number and go with 187. We'll find out if any of us come close to that. Thank you, Gilly, and thank you, Joyda. For now, 1 wicket's down. We'll give you all more updates at the 10 over point. Thank you so much for watching Voltas Presents Cricbuzz Live.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ ಚೆನ್ನೈ
Hyderabad Bhattacharjya Express, Railway Station, Netaji Obot. Cricbuzz.